So in the last class, we have seen a few of the commands, DDL commands and select commands and insert queries and update queries, how we can do in the SQL part, right? So let us continue for today. So today we will discuss SQL functions, built-in functions. So basically we have two types of functions, SQL functions, built-in functions and user-defined functions. Built-in functions and user-defined functions. So built-in functions are nothing but the database itself will provide those functions, just we can use them. So it will take some parameters and it will give you some output. So user-defined functions are the user will define those functions based upon the requirement. So that will be part of PL SQL. Now again, the built-in functions are divided into two categories. One is group functions, the other one is scalar functions. Group functions and scalar functions. So group functions means those functions will work on multiple rows, okay, and scalar functions will work basically in the single row, okay. Now in Oracle there is a table called as dual table. It contains only single row and single column. So if you want to use these functions, we can make use of dual table, okay. So basically it is a dummy table. Now let us see what are all the different functions we have. First, let us discuss about the group functions. Because ETL testing point of view, group functions are very important for us. So there are n number of functions are there, but I'm not talking all of them because it will take a lot of time. So whatever the important functions which are required for ETL testing, I cover those functions. Okay. And under group functions, we have AVG, average, sum, max, min, max, and count. So these are called as a group functions. So basically these functions will work on multiple rows as a group of rows. So that's the reason these functions are called as a group functions. Okay. So for example, if I say salary is a column for employee table. So if you want to find the average of the salaries for all the employees means all the rows. So then I can use like select AVG of salary from employees. So like this we can use AVG of column name. And similarly, select sum of salary. So it will add all the salaries. It will count sum of all the salaries of employees and then it will return. Then minimum salary. Similarly, it will return the minimum salary of the all employee salaries. Then maximum salary and then count star. Count star means it will give you number of records are present in a table. So this count star is very important going further. So select count star from employee. Count star means it will give you number of rows present in a table. That's a count star. Okay. And then sysdate is a call as a pseudo column. Basically sysdate we call as a pseudo column. It will return the current date. Okay. So how we can use this sysdate? We can use like select sysdate from employees. Sysdate is a not a column. Actually, this is basically called as pseudo column. So every table we have this column, but we won't define any column for this. We don't define this column. By default, it will be there. Okay. So sysdate will provide the current system date, and we can use sysdate with like this. Select the sysdate from dual. So let us execute and see how these commands will work. Now let me connect to the my Oracle. Just a moment. Right, so let me close this. Okay, now let me connect to my Oracle. So how to connect to Oracle? I have created few connections, right? So HR1 is my user. So here I'm connecting, or I can take HR because of some tables we can use those functions. Now let us see how we can execute. So first let us say select star from employees. So this is my table. Under HR schema we have, right? These are the records we have. Now let us use all these functions. Select AVG of salary column. We have salary column, right? So this is my salary column. Now this function will return the average of all the salaries, okay, and table name employees. Now let us execute this. Employees. Now execute. Fine. So this is the average of all the salaries. Similarly, we can also use other functions. Minimum of salary. Why we are calling these are group functions? Because these functions will applicable for all the columns, apply for all the columns. So max, minimum, maximum of salary, and we can also use sum of salary, sum of salary, and then select count of star from employees. This is another statement. First, let us execute this. This will give you average. This will give you the minimum salary of employees. So 2,100 is the minimum salary of all employees, and maximum is a 24,000. And this will give you the sum of all the employees. This is the total salaries. Okay. So now here count star will give you number of rows. Okay. Now there is another column called sysdate. So this is basically called as a judo column. So it will return as a current system date. So how we need to use sysdate? Suppose if I say select, if I describe the table, describe, okay, so employee, what describe statement will do? Describe, or you can say DESC shortcut. So if I say describe employees, it will give you the structure of the table. Structure of the table means this is basically called as metadata. This is called as metadata. So what is metadata? Metadata is nothing but the data about the data. So when I execute select star from employees, this will give you the data, right? This is all called data. But what is data about the data means? For example, if I say first name, what kind of data type it is? Last name, what is the data type of this? Or phone number, what is the data type of this? So that kind of data is called as metadata. So when I describe the table, we will get the metadata of the table. So every column and data type and different constraints we will get here. Okay, so when you observe here, we don't have any sysdate column. If you observe here, we don't have any sysdate column. But if I try to get the sysdate from employees table, observe this, select sysdate from employees. But currently sysdate, there is no column, right? But when I execute this, it will give you the current date of system date. It will retrieve the current system date of a current system date from employees table. So employees table having a number of rows, right? So that's the reason it is giving all the number of rows. But instead of this, if I use dual table, dual is a simple table, oracle table. It doesn't have anything. Suppose if I say select a star from dual, it contains only one row and one column. See now, it is just dummy. Nothing will be there. Okay, so this is simply dual table. By default you will have in Oracle. So when I use all these kind of functions, we will make use of dual table. Okay, now when I execute select sysdate from dual, it will give you the current date. That is all about the sysdate. Okay, so now these are all basically called as a group functions. These are all called as a group functions. Let me copy in the notes. Group functions. There are again few more functions are there. Let me discuss them. Group functions. Okay. Anyway, I'll send you the PPT. You can get these all the commands. Now, let us see a few more commands. Scalar functions. So far, what we discussed comes under the group functions. Okay. These functions will applicable for apply on multiple columns in a table. Now we will see scalar functions. So scalar functions will divide it again 4 different kinds of functions: character functions, number or numeric functions, date functions, conversion functions. So these are the 4 types of scalar functions. So why we are called scalar functions? Because these functions we can use on single row itself. But if we want to use group functions, we should have multiple rows. But if we want to use scalar function, we should have one row. At least one row is required. Now character functions, number or numeric functions, date functions and conversion functions. Now let us see what are the different functions we have. Character functions. Character functions works based upon the letters, basically alphabet, small letter, capital letters and so on. So character functions, we have three main important character functions: upper, lower, init cap. Upper, lower, init cap. So upper function will convert a character string into uppercase letter, and lowercase letter convert into lowercase letter. Similarly, init cap is converted into first letter should be capital letter, rest of the letters will be small letters. So these are the examples. For example, I wanted to print employee first names, all employee first names in uppercase letters. Then we need to write query like this: select upper of first underscore name from employees. Okay, now this will query will return the all the first names of employee table in uppercase. Similarly, the lower method. So select the lower of first underscore name from employee. So this function will give you the all the first names in lowercase letters. Similarly, the third method, init cap of first underscore name from employees. So this method will give you all the first names, but the first letter should be capital and rest of the letters will be small letters. Okay, now let us try this. Lower, upper, init cap. Now first let us say select first underscore name from employees. This is my table, right? So let us execute. I'm now retrieving only single column. Instead of single column, if I use star, it will retrieve the multiple records. If I use single column, it will retrieve only single column. Now here, if I want to apply, first let us check these functions with the dual table, then we can apply the same functions to the employee table. So first let us see select upper in the single quotes, let us say A, B, C, D. Okay, so strings we need to put in the semicolon from dual. So we should have some table, okay, otherwise the function we cannot use. We should have some table. Now when I execute this, what happens is it will return the same string in the uppercase. See now if I use the same thing for lower here, so lower case. Now here I'll say capital letters. So when I execute this will give you in lowercase letters, and same function I'll give you with init cap. So now when I execute this, it will give you only first letter is capital letter, rest of the letters are small letters. So this is how we need to use. Suppose if I want to apply the same method for employee table now. So how to use select upper of first underscore name from employees. Now when I execute this, it will give you the, I think something is wrong. Select upper of first underscore name from employees. Now when I execute this, all employees will be displayed as in capital letters. Okay, so here the function name is also displayed, upper of first name. Suppose if you don't want to print the function name here, just you need to provide some alias name. Suppose here again first name. This is my alias name. Now execute this. It will give you the same alias name here instead of function. Okay. Now same thing we can also apply for lower. Execute this. All the first name will be displayed in the lowercase letters, and similarly for init cap. The first letter only, the capital letter, rest of the things will be small letters. Okay, so this is how we need to use these methods. Character functions. These are character functions: upper, lower, init cap. Next, length. It is also a character function. So basically it will return the length of a string. So this is an example. Select length of, if I provide some string here from dual, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters are there. So it will return as a 6. That is the length of a string. And if I want to use this length as in conditional statement, we can write like this. Select star from employees where length of first underscore name is equal to 4. What this query will return? This query will return all the employees whose name having 4 letters. Okay, whoever name is having 4 letters, those employees will be displayed. So now let me write this query here. Copying all the queries here again. So now here what I want to do is select star from employees where length of first underscore name, this is a conditional statement, is equal to, for example, 4. Now based upon the condition, length of first underscore name should be 4. So the name should have 4 characters. Only those names will be displayed. Only those records will be displayed. Now when I execute this, what is invalid identifier? Length. Length. Okay. Now execute this. Now this will give you the all the records. Every employee first name is having only 4 letters. This is basically length function. Length function. Okay. This is also comes under the character functions. Next. LPAD, RPAD. LPAD, RPAD. So LPAD means left padding, RPAD means right padding. So what is padding means? Pads the character towards the left side, pads the characters towards the right side. So for example, when I say example here, select RPAD of Oracle. This is a small string. Okay, you can provide any string. 10 comma XXX. Okay, some characters I have given. So now what happens here is, here it will print total how many number of letters are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters are there, right? 6 characters are there. So 6 characters here, just a moment, something wrong here actually. Okay. Okay. So Oracle is a string rpad 10 comma, I'm providing 3 characters here. Okay. Now the returned value will be like this. Total should be 10 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. And in 10 characters, Oracle is occupied 6 characters, right? 6 characters. So 10 minus 6, 4, right? So rest of the 4 places, it will add something. So here it is, I say like z, right? So basically it will add just xxxx. That's the wrong here. Okay. So this is basically rpad and lpad, right side it will add. This is the right side. And when you give the lpad, it is also the same. So totally 10 characters and Oracle is occupied only 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oracle, and rest of the 10 minus 6 is 4. So 4 letters will be added here at the left side. That's the behavior of rpad and lpad. Now let us see example. Lpad and rpad. Select, this is the function rpad, just a moment, rpad of, select rpad of, here I'm saying Oracle, this is my string, comma, total strings I want to display will be 10. So 10 comma, I'll say 4 here from dual. Now when I execute this, see now it is not giving anything, sorry. Here we need to specify some characters. Okay, now observe here, execute this. Now, so total number of characters should be 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. So in 10 characters minus 6 characters. Oracle is having the 6 characters. So 10 minus 6, 4 characters. So rest of the 4 places, will be printed as a 4x. So how many x we don't doesn't matter, I guess, here. So let me check it. See now, so we can give any number of characters here, but based upon the blanks, it will apply those many number of characters. Okay, so that's the reason. So total 10 characters should be displayed. In 10, Oracle is a 6 characters. 10 minus 6, 4. So 4 places it is displayed as a X. It is left pad. This is right padding. Okay. Now when I use the same method for left padding, L pad. Now when I execute this, it will add the same thing at the left side. This is basically as a padding. Okay. So now let us move on to the some other functions. Next, trim. Trim is nothing but basically for trimming the value. So remove the specified characters from both the sides. So for example, if I say select trim of Oracle. So before that Oracle I have given some spaces, and after this string is also having given some spaces. So when I use trim method, what happens is it will remove the right side and left side values, left side spaces, and it will give you the exact the string value. So if you have some spaces in a string, if you want to remove them, you can use trim function. So for example, we can also use the other way here. Select trim of J. This is another syntax. We can use two different ways trim function. Okay. So this one is select trim of Z from this particular string. So in this particular string, wherever Z is there, that Z value will be removed. That is another trim function. So these are the two different flavors of trim function. First one, it will remove the spaces, right side as well as left side. And other method is, if we need to specify the character, we need to use from keyword from particular string. So it will remove wherever that particular letter is appear. So these are the two different ways we can use trim function. And the other one is instr. So instr returns the position of the character within a string. So for example here, select instr of Oracle. So this is a string. When I say one letter here, in which place the letter is there. So for example, there are 6 letters. So sixth place E is present, so that it returns as a 6. Other one is substr. Substr means it will return the substring of a string. So for example, if I say here, select the substr of Oracle. Oracle is a string. It will take 3 parameters. Okay. Oracle is a string, comma. I want to get the substring from the Oracle. So from where to where I want to get? From the second place. This is 1, 2 and 3. From the second place, next 3 characters I want. So R, so O, R. R is the first place, second place. Second, from the second place, next 3 characters means 1, 2, 3, including R. So that is 3 characters it will return. So for example here, second example, Oracle 3, 3. So 3, 3 means it will start from the third location. O, R, A. A is the third character. From there, it will count the 3. So A, C, L. 3 characters. So 3 will be A, C, L will be printed here. And similarly, one more example. Substr of Oracle, 4, 3. So it will start from the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth letter is C. From there, 3 letters. So C, L, E. Okay. It returns a 3CLE. This is a basically usage of substring function. Now I want to print all the first names from the employee, but I wanted to show only first 3 characters and rest of them as stars. Now you should tell me how to write this query. So what I am saying here is substr function will work like this. Select substr of, here I need to provide some string. So for example, let us say welcome, 2, 3 from dual. When I execute this query, it will give you the ELC. ELC means from the second place to third character. So second means E, from there to 3. E is 1, L is 2, C is 3. So ELC is printed, right? So this is a substring. Now what I want to do is I want to print all the first names from employees table, all the first names from employees table. But how we need to print? The first three characters I should print, but rest of them should be printed as a stars. Okay, I want to mask some data. That is basically called as a masking. First three characters I want to print and rest of them I need to mask. So how we can write, how we can use substring method now? Very simple. Substr of, this is a string, first name is a string, right? The column, comma, first three letters I wanted to print, like 1 comma 3. So 1 comma 3 means from first letter to next three letters I will print, and then it will give you the first three letters. Then rest of the letters I want to print as a star star star. So now pipe symbol, pipe is basically is a concatenation operator. Okay, and semicolon, put some stars here. Now when I execute this, it will give you the, see now first three characters as printed, but rest of them characters are masked. Okay, so this is how we can use substr function. Substr function. Now let us move on to the other functions. Concat, this is also most important function. Substring, substr and concat, we use these functions very frequently. Concat is basically to join the two strings. So how we can join? Select concat of, we need to provide two strings here. So first string, second string from dual. So it will join these two strings and return as a two strings. Similarly, I want to concat first name and the last name. So then how we need to write? Select concat of first underscore name comma select underscore name, and this will, I'll ename is a alias name from employees. Now let us write this code. First let us write normal concatenation. Select concat, the first string will be welcome comma second string will be suppose training from dual. So this is my query. It will give you the, it will join the both the strings. It is joined both the strings. Now if I want to join the first name and the last name from employees table, so for example, so here select first underscore name comma last underscore name from employees. When I execute this query, it will give you the first names and the last names. Now I wanted to join these two names and I want to print as a one column. Then how do we need to join now? We need to use concat of first name comma last name or the column names of employee table. Now from employees. Now when I execute this, this will give you first name and last name both have joined. But I want to change this column name. See now the method name as it is displayed as a column name. But I want to change this column name. So just we need to provide some alias. Suppose let me say ename. This is just alias. Alias means the alternative name for the column. Now when I execute this, this will give you the exact column name. Okay, ename. Under this first name and the last names have been joined. Okay, so this is another function we have, concat. Next, so for what methods we have discussed, all are comes under the character functions. These are all character functions: upper, lower, init cap, length, rpad, lpad, trim, instr, substr, and concat. So these are all called character functions. Now we'll discuss number or numeric functions. These functions basically work on numbers, number fields. The first function is ABS. It will just return absolute value. These are basically mathematical functions. So ABS means it will return just absolute value. So suppose if I say select ABS minus 40 from dual, it will return 40. And select ABS from 40 from dual, it is also return 40. If I give some decimal, for example, select ABS of 40 point, for example, 6. So then what is the absolute value of this? Next one is 41. Suppose if I say select ABS of 40.3, then what is the absolute value of this? 40. So it is very near to that particular 0. It will look for all the 0, either 40 or next 50. So like that. So wherever you find some decimals, it will get the next value. That is basically absolute value. You can try these all these functions, and square root basically it returns the square root of the provided the value, and mod function will return the remainder of the two numbers. When I say 10 comma 3 here, 1 is a remainder, so 1 will be returned here. And power, basically this will return the power. So for example 2 to the power of 5 means I need to multiply 2 5 times. So this will give the same thing I can do using power function like this. Power of 2 comma 5 means 2 to the power of 5. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 5 times. This will give the result. Okay. Now the truncate function. So trunc function basically removes the decimal points. So for example here I have 40.9. So after decimal there is a value called 9. So that will be removed. It is written as a 40. Now trunc of 40 comma 1 2 3 4 comma 3. So the trunc method can take one parameter or more than one parameter. There is a two parameters. If I provide only one parameter, it by default after decimal whatever values we have, all values will be removed. But if I want to provide the two values, the first value is a decimal number. Second, we need to specify how many characters still we should keep. That we need to specify here. So for example here 40.1234. I am specifying as a 3 means after decimal point just keep 3 characters and rest of them just remove it. That's the meaning of this. Okay, so that's the reason it will return 40.123. 4 is because after decimal only 3 should be printed here. Now 40.1234 comma 2. So after decimal it will keep only two numbers, that is 1 and 2, and 3 4 are removed. So we'll get only 40.12. Now if I pass negative numbers, for example here 6876 is there. This is not decimal number. See, this is different thing. 6876, this is a not decimal number, and I am providing the negative value. Then what will happen is 687 will printed. Minus 1 means whichever letter we have in the last letter, the last number, that will become 0. That will become 0. So it will give you 6870. Similarly, if I give minus 2, last two letters becomes 0. So it will return 6800. Similarly, if I have a big number like this 6876345, if I provide minus 5, so last 5 digits will become 0. So 687 will be printed. Next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5 digits will become 0. So that is this one. This is basically trunc function. Okay, it will truncate the values based upon our input. Okay, so these are all very simple things, nothing hard. So just you can copy paste and try how these functions are working just for your practicing purpose. And then greatest and least function. So these functions are written the greatest and least values in the provided values. So for example, see what is the difference between max and greatest? We have seen max and minimum, right? And also here we are seeing greatest and least. So what is the difference here? Max and min functions are group functions. We have to have many number of rows. Suppose if we have salary column, I want to find the sum of all the salaries, then I should say sum of sal column. Then it will give you sum of salary. And similarly, if you want to say, if I want to count average of salary, then I need to say AVG of salary. That is the sum, average, minimum and maximum function. They are called group functions. But here great and least function will work on single row. It will take multiple parameters. Okay, any number of parameters we can pass. So select greatest of If I pass 5 different parameters here, it will give you the largest number. Similarly, if I give select least, it will give you the least number. It will return the least number. Greatest method will return the largest number. Okay, so these are greatest and least methods. Next, so these are all part of scalar functions and numeric function. In the scalar, we have discussed about character functions and numeric functions. Now we are discussing about date functions. These are very important, date functions, because most of the times we need to work on the date columns and so on. So we need to know how we need to capture the date, how we need to change the formats of the date. So these are not very important. So date functions, the mainly we have 4 important functions: add underscore months, months underscore between, next underscore day, last underscore day. Okay, let us discuss one by one. First, add months. So this method will add months to provided date. So suppose if I provide some date, if I want to add few more months to the existing date, then this method will be used. So select add underscore months. Sysdate will give you the current date. Sysdate means it is a current date. So select add underscore months. For current date, it will add 6. 6 means 6 is a month. Okay. For the current date, it will add 6 means it will add 6 more months, and then it will give you the exact date. Now let us see this. Then you will understand with the example. Select. So what is the function here? Select add underscore months. Select add underscore months of sysdate means current date. Sysdate, comma, I want to add 5 more months from dual. So now if I add this one, now you see, so the current sysdate with today's date, it is added 5 more months, and then after 5 months, this is the date, exact date. Okay, so this is adding months. For example, we can also provide the date. Instead of this date, I can also give you a date. So how we need to specify the date here? Within the quotations, single quotes, we need to give the date. So for example, here I'll say 15 hyphen, for example, October hyphen 2070. So this is my date. Whatever date you want, you can just use. I want to add 3 more months to date. The current month is October. Now execute this. It will give you Jan. So if I add 3 more months to the October, November, December, then January. So January is after 3 months we will get this date. So if I add future months to the existing date, we can use add months method. Right? Add months. Next, months underscore between. Months underscore between. Suppose if I provide 2 dates, I want to capture how many months are there. So where this will be useful? For example, I want to get employees who are joined from so and so date to so and so date. I want to get those employees details who has joined from so and so date to some other date, between 2 dates. So then I need to use this method. So months underscore between. It will give you the how many months are there between the 2 dates. So it returns basically number of months between 2 given dates. So the example is like this. Select months underscore between. Sysdate means current date and the another date. Okay. So current date and the next date. This date must be future date. Okay. First we need to give the current date, and the next one will be the future date. Suppose if you want to give any previous date, so but this should be a lower one, and the next parameter should be the higher one. Okay, make sure. So months between means it will give you the months between 2 dates. It returns the months between 2 dates. Then how we need to use this for employees table? Let us see. Select first underscore name, and I want to get experience of employees, for example. That is actual query. I want to get each employee experience. How much experience have? How many months of experience they have? From employee table, I want to get all the employees, every employee, how many months of experience they have, and each and every employee. I want to get that value. So how we need to write the query now? Select first name, comma. So here you see, I have used multiple methods here. So first let us see inside method. Months between sys date, comma, hire date. Okay. First we need to get how many months are there from the current date to hire date of employee. Hire underscore date is the hire date of employee. This is a column in the employees table. So first we need to get months between the current date and employee hire date. Now we will get the number of months. The inner method, this one will provide you, I'll highlight it here. So this one will provide you, just a moment. Okay, so this one will provide you number of months between the current date to hire date. Now, if there is any spaces or if there is any uh, spaces, then we need to truncate them. So that's the reason I have used truncate method. So truncate method will do, basically it will eliminate the spaces and all, right? That's the truncation method. So then here this exp in months is a alias name from employees. Now let us see how we can do this. Let us execute this query. So what is the query here? I want to get every employee to get all employees and their experience in months. That's my query. Now write select star from employees. This is there anyway. What we need to do is first we need to get the number of months from the current date to hire date of the employee. So how we need to get here? First let us write that query. Select months between. So what is the current date? Sys date. And now hire date is a column in the employee joining date, hire date. It will give you the months, number of months. So this will become the experience of employee, right? So first column I will take is a first name, first underscore name, comma, and first name, that means it will give you the number employee name, comma, it will give you the months between sys date and hire date. So what this will give you? This will give you the experience in months. So now let us say from employees. Now let us execute and see. See now how we are getting these values, months in between. We are getting some decimals and spaces and so on, right? This is not give the clarity, right? So what we can do is, if you want to truncate these decimals, right? After decimals, I don't want anything. Then I need to use a truncate method here. Just trunc off everything you need to put in the truncate method. Then execute this. This will give you exact first name and their experience, every employee experience in months. And if you see the column name here, it is directly printing the same thing as a column name, right? So instead of that, I can give one alias here. So my alias is, here I can say experience in months, because I have some spaces in the strings. That's the reason I need to put in the single quotes. This is basically alias. It will print as a column name. So when I execute this, something wrong here. Expenditure from keyword not found where expected. First name, truncate, experience in months from employee. So if you have spaces, given the double quotes. Okay. So if there are some spaces in the alias, just provide in the double quotes. Fine. So this is a, now see, this is a printed as a column name. So this is basically called as alias name. Okay. No, you cannot use absolute function. Absolute function is different. So it will not truncate the values actually. So it will give you the next nearby value. Okay. ABS value we cannot use here. Fine. So now this is a method add months and months between. Add months and months between. For example, now I want to get the experience in years. In the years. Here this experience in the months, right? Now I want to get the experience of every employee in the years. Number of years of experience. Then what you need to do? First name, this is same, it will not change again. But only thing is if I divided by 12 here, this will give you number of years. Simple. So number of months divided by 12. If I do like that, it will give you number of years. So this will become simply number of years experience. Execute. Now this is a number of years experience of every employee. So this is where we need to use months between method. Months between. Next. The other function is next day, last day. Next underscore day, last underscore day. So next underscore day will returns date of specified date. So for example, when I say select next underscore day of sys date, so today is a sys date, right? When I say Friday, what does it mean is next Friday, next coming Friday, what is the date? That will be printed. Okay. Similarly, the last day. Last day means if I provide this date, select the last underscore date from dual. So this will return the last day of the month. Last day of the month. So let us see execute. The first method is next day. Select next underscore day, next day, sys date, comma, for example, let us see in the quotations. So for example, let us say Tuesday from dual. Invalid argument. This is not dot, this is comma. Now you can see. So today is a sys date. So today is sys date is Saturday, right? So when is the next Tuesday? Next Tuesday is a 26, right? So that will be printed here. Okay. So this is how we need to use. Now select last underscore day. For example, here I'll say sys date. So what is sys date? Current day, right? What is the current day here? Current day is here Saturday. Today is Saturday. So now when I execute this, it will give you 30th September. When is the last Saturday? Okay, today is a Saturday. Now when is the last Saturday? September 30th is a last Saturday. So that will give you like this. Okay, so these are the two functions, next day, last day. So you need to practice all of them. So you can't remember all of these functions, but you need to practice. Okay, by practicing you can remember these functions. Now let us move on to the other functions. Now conversion functions. So far we have seen date functions, character functions, numeric functions, group functions. Next, conversion functions. So basically these functions are used for converting to one data type to another data type. So that's the reason these functions are called as conversion functions. Now to underscore char. So basically this function will be used to change the format of the date. So for example, let us say, so select first underscore name, employee ID, to underscore char of hire underscore date. Hire date is a column in a employee table. I want to get this hire date in this format dd mm yy. So this is the format I want to get. So I need to give the to underscore char method. So for example, the second statement, select first underscore name employee underscore id to char of hire date should be this. This is the format dd underscore mon. There is a difference between and mon. There is a difference. I'll tell you what is the difference. Okay. Now yy. So whatever the date format we provided here, the existing date will be converted into that particular format. So if you want to convert that format, we need to provide to underscore char. To underscore char. Now let us see how we can do that. So first let us select hire underscore date from employees table. So this is a hire date, right? So in hire date is we have like first date, next month, then year. 3, 5, 1. There are so many values are there. I guess first one is date, second one is month, last one is some year. Not sure what it is. So let us see. I want to convert this hire date in our format. So now I can do is select to char of hire date and what format I want to print. First I want to print date and then I want to print month. Means it will give you the number, numeric format of month, like first, second, third, like this. If I give MON, it will provide the month name, like JAN, Jan, February, FEB, or March, MAR. So like that it will give. MON means. Means it will give the numeric value. YYYY. This is the year format. From employees. Now execute this. Now you see this will give you the exact format whatever we wanted. So see, first date, next one is a month, then next one is a year. So if I want to convert this exact date into our own format, then we need to use a to-char. This is basically conversion function. Similarly, I can use different kinds of formats. So for example here instead of I say MON. Now you can see the difference. See now first three letters have been printed. And for example, if I say here, I'll say day. Let us see is correct or not sure. Yeah, see now it is also printed as a day name, right? This is also one kind of format. Now in the year I want to get only last two, then YY. Now you can see last 0305 we'll get here. So based upon the format we can convert. So for that we need to use to-char function. To-char function. So here I have given so many examples for different formats. You know, this date day. If I give only day here, it will return the day name. And if I give only dd here, it will return the day number. If I give MON, it will give you a name of the month. If I give it will give you a number of month. If I give YYYY, it will give the 4 digits of the year. And if I say YY, it will give 2 digits of the year. So different formats I have given. You can try this. Okay. So next one. Let us see a few queries. How we can write. How we can use. So for whatever functions we have learned, how we can use those functions. So I want to display employees who are joined in some year like 1998. That's my query. I want to display employees who are joined in 1998, especially 1998. So what is 1998? That's a year, right? And if I see employees table, we don't have a direct column, year column, right? So select star from employees. So when I say this query, we don't have as a direct column as year. If I have year as a column, if I provided here, we can easily get this like select star from employees where year is equal to some year. If I give like this, we will get the all employees who are joined in the same year. But here we don't have the joined year, but hire date we have. So from this we need to extract the exact year. From this hire date we need to extract the year. So if I once we extracted the year, if that year is a 1998, then get all the records. That's my query here. Let me show you once again. So display employees were joined in 1998. So how I have created the query? Select star from employees where, see, I'm changing from the hire date, I am capturing the year last YY. YY means last two digits it will give you, right? YY means 99. Suppose whatever it is written that is 98, then retrieve all the employees. That's the condition here. So select star from employees where to underscore care of hire date. We are extracting the exact year from hire date. We can also still use YYYY. If I use 4 Y's, we need to give the full string here. 1998. 1998 we need to give. Okay, but here we have taken only 2. That's the reason I given as 2. In the next query, I have taken select star from employees where to underscore care of, we need to extract full year from hire date. So hire date comma YYYY. So I want to extract full year, and whatever extracted from this condition, I'm comparing that one with the 1998. Now this will filter all the rows. So whoever is joined in the 1998, only we will get those records. Okay, so let us try this. These queries you need to practice. So apart from these queries, I will also give more number of queries for your practice. Okay, so now let us try. So first let us start from employees. So this table contains all the records, but I want to get only employees who are joined in 1998. That's my query. So we don't have any specific column for the year, so that we need to extract that year from the hire date itself. So how we can write the query? Select star from employee where to underscore care of hire date. This is a column. From this column I need to extract hire date of. So hire date, which is the format we need to give? YYYY. 4 digits I want to get. So this will extract basically. And if this particular year equal to 1998, then it will retrieve the records. So something wrong here. Employees. Still hire date is wrong. Hire underscore date. So there is no record. Why? Because in the 1998 there are no employees have been joined. So let us give some other year. 1995. No records. Just a minute, let me check. I think no records. So let us say YYYY 95. If there are no records, that's the reason it is not giving. Let us check. So here this is the hire date. I think these are all the data is after 2000. Okay, so that's the reason it is not giving. Suppose 2007. So we have to give 2007. Okay, now it will give you the records were joined in 2007. So this is the hire date. All are in 2007. Okay. So we can write queries like this by using date functions. Now let us move on to the other functions. And this is another one. Display employees who are joined in February. So this is based upon the months I need to filter. So what we need to write now? Select to underscore char of hire underscore date, comma, from this hire date we need to extract the month from employees. So basically this query will extract the month from employees table. But we need to extract the employees who are joined in specific month. So for that we need to write like this. Select star from employee where to underscore char of hire date. From hire date we need to extract month. If that month is February, then those records will be extracted. Okay, so we can practice all these queries, and also for your assignment I'll give few more queries apart from this. Next, another function to number to date. So far we have seen to underscore char and their usage. Next one, to underscore number to underscore date. To underscore number. So see the first example. Select L trim. So I have explained trim function, right? Trim means trimming the values from the right and left side. L trim means it will trim the values from the left side. R trim means it will trim the values from the right side. So that is the function. Here we have used L trim. So what it will give you? I have $400. I have $1400. I want to remove the dollar. Okay, I want to print only 1400. See this. This is a different case. This is one scenario you will get in future again. I have 1400. When I put this $1400 in the single quotation, that is a string. That is a string. Now what I want to do is I cannot do any calculations on the string type. So what I should do is I should do two things first. If I want to do calculation on this, I should do two things. One is I need to eliminate this dollar. First thing is I need to eliminate, or I have to remove the dollar. Second thing is I need to convert this value into numeric number or number. Then only I can do the calculations, because it is a string format. Whenever I say in the single quote, that is a string format. So for that, what we need to do is, if I say select L trim of $1400 comma dollar, what will happen now? L trim means left side, wherever the dollar appears, that will be removed, and this will return 1400. This will return 14 number, but still it is a string format. I cannot do any calculation on strings. So now I need to move, or now I need to convert the string into numeric format. So in addition, I need to apply to underscore number. So what is the purpose of to underscore number? This method will convert to numeric format. Any format to numeric format, but one condition here. Suppose in the single quote, you mentioned all our alphabets. Now you tried with to underscore number, then it will not convert. It will give you error, because if only these quotations, if we have only numeric values in these quotations, then it will convert it to the to number, because to number is nothing but a number basically, right? The ultimate goal is to convert to the number. If you have some characters here, you cannot, right? So in the single quote itself, we should have some numeric values. Then only we convert this into number. So basically this is a data type conversion to number. Now see this, select to underscore number of L trim. So inner function will remove the dollar sign. Inner function will remove the dollar sign, and this will return 1400, but still that is string. On top of that, we need to use to underscore number function. The final will be written as 1400 as a number format. Okay, so this is another function we have. Similarly, another one is to underscore date. So what to underscore date will do? So this is basically convert any type into date format. Date format. So for example, if I say like this is a string. This is not the date, but seems like a date. Seems like a date, but it is a string. So if I want to convert this to date, then I need to use to underscore date. So in that case, this will become a date. Similarly, this is also, see this is a string basically. If you want to convert this into as a date format, then we need to use to underscore date. Okay, so dates should not be put in the quotation. So whenever we put some quotation, that is a string. But when you want to convert to the date format, that should seems to be exactly the date format. See now 09 Jan and 16. It seems like a date. It should be like that. Even though it is a string, it should be like that. So then only we can convert it to as a date format. Okay. So these are all very important. You need to practice a lot with multiple examples. Now we have completed all the functions. So what are all the different functions so far we discussed? Built-in functions, group functions, and scalar functions. Under group functions we have character functions. Sorry, under group functions we have average, sum, maximum, minimum, max, count. These are the different functions we have under group functions. And character functions have been divided into multiple functions again. Scalar functions are divided into multiple categories: character functions, numeric functions, date functions, right? So here character functions, numeric functions, date functions, and conversion functions. These are all the different categories of functions. These are all built-in functions. Just we can play with this. All the functions you can try with the different kinds of examples. I'll also give some assignments. But only thing is you need to know whichever is method is required, whichever function is required, in what situation, that you need to know first of all. Okay. So if you want to get some records with some date, just you can just give select star from employee where hire date is equal to so and so date. That's it. Only if you want to get the records on a particular date. Okay, directly you can use hire date column. But especially if you want to check on specific year or on specific day or on specific month, then you need to extract them from hire date. Okay. That time it will consider as a date itself. So when you say hire underscore date is equal to, you mention that date, because in the table itself, if I see, let me describe the table, then you can understand. Okay, describe employees. When I say describe employees, it will give you the data type of the columns, right? See now, what is the data type of hire date? By default it is date format, so you no need to again change the format to date. Okay, if there is any date, if there is any string, if date is in the form of string, then you can use toDate function, otherwise not required. Okay, suppose if you want to get the employees on specific date, for example, then how we need to get? Simply you can say select star from employees where hire date equal to what is the date? For example, let me give this date. This is the date, but we need to specify in the single quote. Let us check this. It is not giving. Why? Because, let me remove the quote. Still it is not giving. We need to change it to underscore date. Something wrong in it. Hire underscore date. Sorry. This is not required. Okay. Now date is by default in the date format. Okay. So here the date is by default in the date format, so that we no need to do this. For example, if date is in string format, suppose data type is as defined as a string, then you need to convert. Okay, otherwise not required. Fine. So far what we have discussed are called built-in functions. Okay. Now let us move on to the few more concepts, important ones. Group by class. So far what are the different classes we discussed? Where condition we discussed, right? Where condition. And we have a group by class. Basically this group by class is very important, and it is basically used for grouping the result. So once we get the result from the table, based on certain condition, we need to group those results. So for that we need to use a group by class. Okay, so let us discuss about this. For example, here I have created few queries. Select department ID, comma, sum of salary from employees group by department ID. Okay, this is my query. Yes, date always we need to give in the single quote. Okay, don't forget it. Date we need to give as a single quote. Okay, so now let us see this. I have a requirement. So what is my requirement is, let us say first of all, this is my employee table. So in employees table, we have a department ID. Okay, I have a department ID. So what I want to do is, what I want to get from this table is, very careful, just listen. For each department, so for each and every department, there are few employees, right? I want to get the sum of salaries of that particular department. So suppose for example 60 is a department. In 60 department, 5 employees are working. Assume that there are 5 employees are working under 60 department. And 5 employees are having 5 different salaries. I want to get the sum of those salaries. That's my query. So I want to get the sum of salaries of employees who are working in the same department or department wise. So 60 department, this is the sum of salary, or 100 department, this is the sum of salary. So that's the reason I want to get that result. Okay. So in that case, we need to group the result. We need to group the result. Suppose I want to get the salaries, sum of salaries for each department. For each department, when I say each department, that is a group. Department ID is a group. So based on the department ID, we need to group. So how we can write the query is, select department underscore ID, select department underscore ID. This is a column we have. Department underscore ID. Not only department number, apart every department I want to get sum of salaries. Sum of salaries from employees. Okay, if I give like this, it will return something error. What it is saying, not a single group function, not a single group function. So what does it mean is, here we are getting the department ID and sum of salary. So this sum of salary we need to, this sum method is a group function, right? We discussed this function as a group category. So group function means we should have some group of records, then only this function will be applied. But when I say department ID, this is only one group, so one row. So at the row level, we cannot use sum method. So for that, what we need to do is, from employees, here we need to use group by whichever column we mentioned here, that column we need to specify. Very important, remember this. In the select statement, whatever columns we have used, all the columns must be part of group by class. That is the rule of group by class. Whatever columns we used in the select class, all the columns should be part of group by class. So this function will be applied on the group result. So first we should get all the department IDs, right? And then it should go to each and every department and just count the sum of salaries. So now let us execute this. See, now this is a department ID and each department, this is a sum of salary. This is a sum of salary. So this is how we need to use. This is a group by class. Group by class is basically used for dividing the rows into several groups. So if you want to get the result on the group basis, we need to use a group by class. Similarly, we will see a few more examples, then you can understand very clearly. Let me maximize this. Right, the second thing. Select department ID of average of salary from employees group by department ID. So what this will give you? This will give you all the department, each and every department ID, and in that particular department averages salaries. Okay, it will give you based upon the department as a group. And in every query, whatever columns we are retrieving, these columns must be part of group by class. Remember this point. And the last query here, I want to get number of employees working under a particular job ID. So for example, let us see what is job ID here. Select star from employees. So let us execute this query. It will give you the job ID. See now job ID is there. For every employee job ID is there. So I want to get, for example, AD press is there. So under AD press, how many employees are working? How many employees are having the same job ID? That I want to get. Suppose IT program. So with this job ID, how many employees are there? That's my query. How to write? Select job underscore ID, comma. How many means count star from employees group by. So whichever column we have used in the select statement, that column must be part of here. Now execute this. It will give you, so see now, IC accountant only one person is working. IT programming there are 5 people are working. So each job ID wise how many people are working. Okay. So this is how we can get the values by using a group by class. Now the main important condition you need to remember here is all the columns in the select list should be included in the group by class. These are the examples. Select department ID, job ID. See now, I want to group the results based on the department ID as well as job ID. Select department ID, job ID, comma, sum of salary. So department wise, in each department and each job ID, how many employees are there? So sum of salary, sum of salaries of those employees who are working under the same department ID and job ID. From employees, group by department ID, job ID. So whatever the columns we have used in the select list, all the columns must be part of group by class. Okay, so this is how it will be printed. So let me execute this one. Select department ID, job ID, sum of salary from employees, group by department ID and also job ID. See now, this is a department ID, job wise, this is the sum of salary. Okay, no record is repeated here. Okay, so here it is repeated, but here it is not repeated because some departments having this job IDs, multiple people we have. Department ID, job ID and salary. So this is how we can execute multiple things, multiple queries by using group by class. And here one more example. Select E number, E name, salary, count star from employee, group by E number, E name, salary, having count star greater than 1. So what is this query will do? Here, group by employee number, E name, salary, having count star greater than 1. So what this query will return? This query will return duplicate rows like employee number, name, salary will get. Count star means again it will get all the records, all the columns from employee. Group by MP number, name, salary. We are grouping by using MP number, E name and salary. Having count star greater than 1. So let us execute and see what it will return. Sorry, this is written for employee type. So let us change this. I think this is select star from employees. Okay, so this is not E number, this is employee ID. And this is, let us say, first name. This is salary. Count star from employees. Group by again employee ID. So whatever columns we used in the select list, we must use all these columns in the group by class. Number, name and the salary. Having. So where is having will come into picture? Having class. Having is basically used for applying the condition on group result. Applying the condition on group result. So till here, if I execute here, salary, and this is salary. So I don't put any having class. I'm executing only this particular part. Okay. So now when I execute this, this is the result. Okay. So for every group, I have only one guy is there. These are basically duplicate records because we filter based on ID, first name, salary, right? So every column has a group, considering as a group. So with this combination, we have only one employee will be there always. And this combination, we have also one employee will be there. So that's the reason same combination never ever will be repeated. Okay. So for example, if I want to get any duplicates are there, suppose this combination, if there any duplicate record, if you want to find, then we need to apply one condition here. Having count of star greater than 1. If it is greater than 1 record, then there will be some duplicates. So when I execute this, it will not give anything. That means there is no duplicate records are there in the employees table. So if you want to apply some condition on the group result, then we can go for having class. We will discuss more about having class. Having, and we have another class called order by. So basically order by class will use it for displaying the result in ascending order or descending order. So what is having class? Basically, what is the difference between having and order by class? Having class is basically applied, used for with group by class, and order by class is used with where condition. There's a one difference. The other difference, having class can be applied on group result. Order by class can be applied on the results of rows. So if I want to get 100 rows, if I have displayed 100 rows, I want to display all 100 rows in the descending order. Then we need to say order by some row number. Okay, order by is basically displaying the records in ascending or descending order. Having is a class, we need to use it with group by class, and basically having is basically used for applying the condition on group result. Okay, so now let us see some examples here. So select department ID, sum of salary. So for each department, there are many number of employees and their salaries. I want to find total salaries, total of the all employee salary for each department from employees table, where here I want to apply the condition. I don't want to get sum of salaries of each and every department. On specific department, I want to get sum of salaries. On specific department, I want to get sum of salaries. Then how we need to use now? Select department ID, sum of salary from employees, where department ID is equal to 50. First where condition will come. It will filter here itself. Department ID is filter here itself. Then group by department ID. Always where condition will come first, then group by will come next. This is the order. So here my query is select department ID, sum of salary from employees, where department ID is equal to 50. What this will give? Basically this will filter department ID only 50, right? This will filter as a 50. Only I will get department number as a 50. Once we get that result, once the condition is applied, then it will group the values. So that's the reason we need to use again group by after using where condition. Okay, this is the first query. So let me execute and show you. And also let us see the second query. We will execute both of these. Select department ID and sum of salary. Again same query. The same department is how much the sum of salary from employees. Group by department. Here there is no where condition. Group by department ID having sum of salaries greater than 20,000. See, what is the difference between first query and second query? In the first query, we are filtering the columns because I don't want all employee IDs. I want to only specific employee ID. So I want specific department ID, so that I need to mention here where department ID is equal to 50. After getting the result, we need to apply the group by class for department ID. But the second query, we should get all the department IDs. There is no filter for that. But once we get all the department IDs and their sum of salaries, I want to apply the condition on sum of salary. I want to print sum of salaries greater than 20,000. So this condition will apply after getting the group result. Okay, but here before getting the group result itself, the where condition will apply it on department ID. That's the reason. First it will filter here itself. Okay, not equal to 50 I am saying here. Department ID is not equal to 50 means other than 50, whatever departments are there, it will give you those departments and their sum of salaries. And department ID based, it will group. And in the second query, we are getting all the departments because we don't have any condition. Select department ID, sum of salary of their departments from employees. Then I am doing a group by on department ID, and this sum of salaries, right? On this sum of salaries, I am applying the condition. So sum of salary means that is a group. So I am applying the again condition, that is 20,000. Greater than 20,000, then it will print only those sum of salaries. Let me execute and show you. So the first query will be, I want to display the department ID and in each department what is the sum of salaries except department ID 50. Okay, that's my query. Now how we need to write? Select department ID and each department I want to get sum of salaries, sum of salary from employees. Till this fine. Now we need to apply group by department IDs. This is simple query we know so far, right? Select department ID, sum of salary from employees, group by department ID. So for each department ID, what are the sum of salary? So that will be printed here. Okay, this is the one. Now I will enhance this query. Now these are the department IDs, right? I don't want to get the data of department ID 50. Apart from the 50, I want to get all other departments. Then what you need to do here, we need to apply from employees where this is a where condition, where department underscore ID should not less than 50, not equal to 50. This is the condition. Now when I execute this query, it will execute, and just a moment, there is something, department ID, spelling mistake. Department department ID. Now when I execute, it will just ignore the 50. So result is same, just it will ignore the 50. So based upon the condition, we filtered some rows. Okay, based on the restriction, we filtered some rows. Now sum of salary is a group result, right? So this salary is not an individual person, right? This is the group result. So now what I want to do is I want to display sum of salaries, only those sum of salaries greater than 20,000. Only the sum of salaries are greater than 20,000. Now I want to apply the condition on group result. So that's the reason I need to apply here group by department ID having sum of salary greater than 20,000. This is my query. You can write in the next line also. This is the query. So this where condition is used for filtering the rows, and here the having is also a condition, will be used for filtering the groups, filtering the group columns. So this is the group, right? 5160 is the value which we get from multiple salaries, not only single salary. So that is the reason. So if you want to apply the having, we should apply the having on group result. So when I execute this, now we will not get the 50 department ID, and here all the salaries are greater than 20,000. right? So this is how we need to use group by class, where class and having class. We should follow certain order. Now, these are the two examples we have seen. Now let us see order by class, where order by comes into the picture. Order by class is used to arrange the rows in a table, ascending or descending order. So for example, let us say select star from employees, order by department ID. So department wide ID wise I want to display. So simply say order by, after table name we need to use order by department underscore ID. By default it will display ascending order. If you want to display in the descending order, I need to specify the one more keyword called DESC, descending order. Okay, so this is basically order by class, ascending order or descending order. Let me execute this. Select star from employee where employee ID, sorry, star from employee order by department underscore ID. So we need to specify some column. So based upon the department ID, it will give you employee ID order by, sorry, department ID. Execute this, right? So, no, employees, right? So now if I see department ID here, 10, 20, this is basically ascending order. 10 first came, 20, 30, 40, 50. So now if I want to display all the records in descending order, so one more important thing is it will not print department ID alone. So it will apply, this order is applicable for all other columns. Okay. So for example, if you want to display in the descending order, I say DESE. This is a descending order. Execute. Now you can see the department ID 110, 110, 100, next 90 and so on. This is the descending order of execution. Now we will see order of execution. Suppose if we have where group by having order, all these classes, how we need to use, in which way we need to use. So I have created two queries here. Let us understand this. Select department ID, sum of salary from employees, group by department ID. Just till this, remember this. Select department ID, sum of salaries for each department from employees, group by department ID. So what this will return? This will return department ID wise sum of salaries. Now I am applying the condition having sum of salary greater than 20,000. So on the group I am applying the condition. Now we need to use order by sum of salary. So order by class will always come at the end. Remember this. Order by class will come at the end, because once we capture all the rows, once we retrieved all the rows, then we need to say either ascending order or descending order on which column. Okay. So column is not only department ID, whatever even function is also act as a column name here. Okay. So here order by sum of salary I am saying. So first group by having, then order by came. Suppose if I use where condition. As I said, where condition can be applied at the row level, right? Suppose here I don't want to print department ID 100. That is my condition. Then where condition, where it will come? Select department ID, sum of salary from employees. Here itself we need to filter department IDs, right? So where department ID not equal to 100. So here we have eliminated 100. And then we group by department ID having sum of salary 20,000. So here we eliminated department ID 100, and then we have grouped the result. Okay, after grouping the result, we are applying the having condition on group result, that is sum of salary greater than 20,000. Once it is completed, then we need to print as an order. So that's the reason again order by class come in the end. Order by sum of salary descending order. So the order should be the same. First where condition, because we need to filter the rows, then group by, then having, then order by. So where class is used for applying the conditions on the rows. Group by class is used for grouping the result. Having class is used for applying the condition on grouping results. Order by class is used for printing the data or results in a certain order, ascending or descending. Okay, so this is how we need to use. This is the exact order we need to follow. Where condition, group by, having, order by. Okay, next let us move on to the integrity constraints. So far we have discussed all of them with the select class. Okay, select is most important command because everything we need to 70 to 80% of the stuff we need to use only select statement. Okay, rest of the commands and everything, DDL commands, TCL commands and other things will be used by administrators and developers. Okay, testing, when you do the testing, always most of the times we use select statement. So that's the reason we have seen so many combinations and flavors of select statement. Select statement with functions, select statement with order by class, select state with group by class, select state with having class, all are comes with the select statement. Now let us move on integrity constraint. This is also a kind of database design thing. Like if you want to define a new tables in your database, then we need to apply some integrity constraint. What is integrity constraints? There are certain rules. So for example, if I create a table, employee table, and I say like employee number is a one column. So once I created the table, I wanted to restrict the user. He must enter a employee number. It should be unique. Okay. Suppose that particular column should not allow the duplicate values. That's a condition. That's my condition. So I want to reinforce some rules on each and every column. So for example, when I say a column is a not null, that means the user should enter some value into that particular column. It should not leave as it is. Similarly, if I put a column as a unique column, then the user must enter a unique value in that particular column. There should not be any duplicates in that particular column. And similarly, the primary key. If I define a column as a primary key, that column should not have any null values, and also each and every value will be unique. This is basically a combination of not null and unique. And if I define a column as a foreign key or referential integrity, that column is referencing by some other table column. That's basically establishing the connection between two or more tables. And check is a constraint which can be used for, suppose there is a name field. I want to enter a student name. Student name is a column. So in that particular, or suppose there is a country column. For example, in a table there is a country column. I want to restrict the user to enter only specific country. For example, the country is, for example, India. I want to restrict the user to enter only the countries India. I don't want to allow the other countries. In that case, I need to apply one condition like check country is equal to India. If the condition matches, then that value will be allowed in the table, or else it will throw the exception. So basically all these constraints are used for applying certain conditions on the table columns. Okay, but the definition level we don't much required, but the testing point of view, especially for ETL testing point of view, we need to also validate these integrity constraints in the table. But database testing point of view, this is very much important. But in ETL point of view, after transformations, whether the keys they still there or not, that we need to validate. Okay, so there are two angles here. So for example, there is a source table. In the source table, there is a country column. On the country column, check constraint is applied. Now from that source table, the data is uh, transformed to, or data is pulled from source table to some target table. So again we need to check the target table data. So that data is followed the check condition or not. That we need to validate as part of ETL testing. If it is a database testing point of view, if you want to validate, then we need to check whether that particular column is allowing the exact value or not. Check constraint is working or not. So this is how we need to validate. Okay. So now let us see a few integrity constraints: not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, and check. Very simple. I'm not going to execute any scripts. Just you can try yourself. Okay. These are very simple ones. I'll give you all the syntax and explain each and every statement. The first one is a not null. So not null is a constraint If I define a column as a not null, that column will not accept null values. Null values in the sense it is not empty, it is not zero. Null is a specific kind of type. Okay, not null means it is not zero, not empty. Okay, so that's the definition of null. So if I when we need to enforce this integrity constraints at the time of defining the table. So for example, if I create the table here like this, create table student1. This table contains a column called s number. The data type is number. I mention this column as a not null. Okay, what does it mean? This column doesn't allow null values. Now s name is a varchar type, marks is a number. So this is a table. This is how we need to create a simple table. Now I'm trying to insert the data in the table. Insert into student1. Student1 is a table. Insert into student1 values. See now, 101 is S number, Arun is the name, 50 is the marks. This is correct one. But second, see now, second one. I don't know the S number, for example. Then what should I enter? I should enter null if I don't know the value. So when I try to entering the null value instead of SN number, because I don't know S number, instead of that I'm trying to insert the null. If I don't specify not null constraint, it will allow nulls. But here I have specified not null. Because of that reason, it will not allow the nulls. This is error. It will throw the error. Not null constraints violated. That error will be getting. Okay, so insert into table values. Here we are saying not null, but here we are still trying to pass null value. That's the reason it will get the error. This is wrong statement. Next, unique constraint. Unique is a basically constraint. If you apply this constraint to the table column, that column will not allow the duplicate values. Okay, this will not allow the duplicate values. See this example. So we can apply the unique constraint at the column level and table level. So I'll tell you what is the difference between column level and table level. So if you want to apply the column level, normally yes number is a column name, number is a data type. We can just specify unique here, keyword. Then yes name, marks are common thing. This is a normal column level. Suppose if you want to apply the same constraint at the table level, this is a syntax. Normally S1, S name, marks we define all the columns, comma. Before closing the bracket, we need to say unique of S number. Unique of S number. Suppose I want to make other column is also unique, then you can separate with a comma here. S number, comma, marks. Both are unique. That's the advantage of table level mentioning. So if I see here, if I want to specify the unique, each and every column we need to specify. If I want to use this method, column level method. Suppose marks is the unique. So here also you need to put unique constraint. If I have more than 2 or 3 columns as unique, then best way is go to table level definition. Mention all the columns and put last column, last line, unique of, mention whatever columns are unique by separating the comma. Okay. If you want to mention more than one column as a same constraint, then go for table level definition. Okay. Or if you have only one column with the unique, then go for the normal column level definition. So now I have created the table like this. S number is unique, S name, marks. So now S number is unique, right? It will not allow the duplicate values. Now here I am trying to insert the duplicate values. Insert into student1 values 101 Arun and 50. First time it will accept. And then second time again I am trying to insert the same kind of record. Kiran and 60, these values have been changed, but still the same ID S number is trying to insert. Now this time it will throw an error. 101 will not allow. Why? Because we specified this S number column as unique column. Unique means the value should be unique. Okay. And similarly, suppose see this example. Insert into student1 values. Nulls can be inserted. If I say column as a unique, null values are allowed. And one more thing is we can provide more number of nulls. It will not consider that rule at the nulls for nulls. See now, here S number is a unique, right? Unique. I have defined as a unique. So when I enter some same number here, it is not allowed. But if I enter two nulls, first time I insert as a null. S number is a null. Suresh 85. Second time still trying to insert a null. Still it will accept, because here the unique constraint will applicable only for numeric values, not for nulls. Null is a numeric value. Null is a not numeric value. So because of that reason, it will allow. It will allow multiple nulls also. But when you enter the numeric value, it will not allow the duplicates. That's the reason these two statements also correct. So unique constraint column can accept multiple nulls. Multiple nulls. So these points are very important in interview perspective. People will ask. Okay. So what is the condition? What is the use of unique key, unique constraint? When I define a column as a unique constraint, that column will not allow the duplicates. But in case of nulls, it will allow duplicates. Okay. Next, primary key. Basically, the primary key is a combination of not null and unique. Not null and unique. Not null means it will not allow the null values. Unique means it will not allow the duplicates. So when I define a primary key, a column as a primary key, that column will not allow us to enter nulls as well as duplicate values. It will not allow us to enter nulls and duplicate values. See now example. Okay. So this is simply primary key. Primary key means it is a combination of not null and unique. Not null and unique. It will not allow the null values and it will not allow the duplicate values. Now we will see, suppose if table is created with a constraint. Table is also created as a constraint. Now I want to modify it. Okay. So how we need to modify? See this, alter table student 1, modify S name varchar 10. Here you can specify the constraint name. So this is how we need to modify. So alter table, modify S name is a column of the table, varchar. Just if I don't specify any constraint, automatically that will remove. Okay, you don't need to say which, this is the constraint, because S name is already have some constraint, right? So if I see like this statement, whatever constraint is already there for S name, that constraint will be removed. Now when I see here, insert into student 1 values 101 Arun 50, this will be right. And now if I see 101 Suresh 60, this will not right, because this is a duplicate value. And if I enter null, this is also invalid, because if I put a column as a primary key, that will not allow nulls and also it will not allow the duplicates. This is the examples. Now the fundamental points here, we can create primary key on combination of two columns. You can also create primary key on combination of two columns as a primary key, not only one column. That is basically called as a composite key. Okay, composite key can be applied only at table level, not for column level, because composite key means we should require at least two columns. So let me tell you, this is very important. What is primary key? What is composite key? See now, here I have to create table. Create table. Here e number. Suppose let us say e number. This is number type. I'll say like this is 15, comma e name. This is varchar of 15. Okay, so here again I'll say DAPT ID. This is also number. This is also number of 5 zeros. Now I want to apply primary key. How we need to apply here? I'll say primary key. Primary. This is a primary key. And if I want to make department number ID also primary key, so then I can say this is also primary key. Primary key. So what does it mean? Here e number will not allow duplicates and null values. Similarly, here department ID also will not allow the numeric value, will not allow the duplicate values and null values. Suppose if I make these two columns combination of primary key, suppose I am removing here, here removing. Now what I can do is I can do these as a combination. So how we need to do now? Very simple. Primary key of E number, comma, DEPT ID. So combination of these two columns, it will check the unique record. That is basically called a composite key. Okay, the question is I have entered some records and now we are applying primary key. Then what will be? You will get the definitely will get the exception because based upon the what kind of key you are applying. For example, the column is already having some duplicate records. Still now you are trying to apply the primary key to the column. You have changed the definition. It will not allow you because that table still contains some duplicate records. That will be mismatched. Okay, but if the data still have that is not duplicated, then you can change, you can alter the table, you can apply the primary key or any other key. That is again depending on the data. So but the rules are mandatory. So whatever the rules we define for every constraint, that rules will be 100% applicable for each and every column. Even though if you have data, suppose that will next if you are applying the particular primary key or unique key or something else, then it will throw the error. Okay, it will not allow you first of all. Okay, so now this is about the primary key. Now the last one is a foreign key constraint. This is also called as a referential integrity constraint. This is more important for us to check the relations between the tables. Okay, now let us understand this. I have created a table called school. This table contains S number, S name, marks, and these are the three columns I have. S number, S name, marks. I am making S number as a primary key. This is table level definition. Because if I put primary key here itself, that is also same. But at the end I am specifying primary key is S number. Now I am inserting few values here. Insert into school 101, Arun 90, 102, Kiran 70, 103, Amit 80. I have inserted three records in the school table. Okay. Now I'll create the child table. See now column names are very important here. S number, S name, marks. S number is a primary key. Now come to the child. In the child table is create table library. Library is a child table which contains two columns. One is S number, one is book name. S number is referring to the parent tables, that is school of S number. These two are linked together. Okay, school, this is school table, this is a library table. School and library are interrelated based upon the S number. This is a parent table, this is a child table. So child table is always referring to the parent table. So let me give you one introduction. This is an important concept. I'll finish another 5 minutes, just please hold on. Let me give you the context. Okay, so here I have a parent table. The parent table S number. This is parent table. Apart from this S number, there are n number of columns are there. And there is another table. This is a child table. Here also S number. This is child table. And here we have few more records. Okay, so here we have few more records. Now this child table is referring to the parent table S number. Okay, so here we have some records inserted. So here this SN number is referring to the S number parent table, right? So now currently we have few records in the parent table. Now we are trying to insert a record here. For example, S number I am entering 200. 200. First it will check this 200 is available in the parent table or not. That is more important. It will check 200 is available in the parent table or not. and then it will allow us to enter the value. Suppose I have entered the 300. It will check this number is available in the parent table or not. So this is a relationship. And if you want to remove the record from the parent table, first we need to remove the record from the child table, then we need to then we can remove the record from the parent table, because this child table is depending on parent table. That's the reason. First we should remove here, then we need to remove the parent table. But even though there is a child record, still I want to remove from the parent record, then on delete cascade option should be used. This is very important option. By default, the behavior is, if there is any child record, for example, there is 200 number, S number, there is a record present in the child table. Here in the parent table also there is a record with 200 S number. I am trying to delete this record from a parent table. That will not allow you, because there is a dependency record available in the child table by default. But if I want to still want to remove this record, then I need to use on delete cascade option. At the time of creating foreign key, I need to say on delete cascade option. In that case, if I remove the parent record, automatically child record will be removed. Child record will not remove basically. Child record still be there, but this record entry will become the null, because this record corresponding entry is not there in the parent table. Remember this point very carefully. Here in the child table, I have a record with the 200 S number, and I have another S number 200 in the parent table. Now connection is fine. Now I am trying to delete the record from the parent table, that is 200. It will not allow. By default, it will not allow. We cannot delete. If you still want to delete, first you need to delete the child table record, and then parent table record I should delete. That's the behavior, default behavior. But still I want to remove the parent table record, even though if you have record in the child table, then we need to apply on delete cascade option when you creating the connection between two tables at the time of defining a table foreign key constraint. Okay, in that case, just a moment guys. One second guys, please hold on.